Hello and welcome to the Skyland Conference Tournament Gymnastics. This is women's gymnastics here at Hunterdon Central. I'm here with Callie and I'm Lucas Reed. Callie, we should be in for a great tournament here today in the field house.
Absolutely. Skyland is always such an incredible meet to watch because there's always something good happening. Such a great collection of teams, and super excited to get started today.
Teams, you can move to your first competition rotation. North Hunterdon, Voorhees, and Warren Hills are on a bye. Ridge is on bars. Somerville is on a bye. Montgomery is on B. Hillsborough is on a bye. Bridgewater Raritan is on floor. Hunterdon Central is on a bye. And Watchung starts on vault. Good luck, ladies.
Since we have 8 teams here competing today and we only have 4 events, Hunterdon Central will be off every other event. So we're going to get some footage from some other teams today, which is super interesting. Always to see what other gymnasts we're not so familiar with have planned for us. Starting over on beam, a popular thing you'll see gymnasts doing is warming up their beam skills on the lines of the floor, just to really make sure their footwork is going to be exact when they go up to put it on beam. And a great thing about these higher level meets is that you see a lot of higher level skills.
Gymnasts, as soon as you're ready, you can begin one touch, and then competition can begin immediately following that.
The one-touch warm-up system is where everybody warms up together, and then before the event you're going on, you get a quick little warm-up, because for meets like this that take longer, gymnasts kind of tend to get a little bit cold, so this just gives them an extra opportunity to practice anything that they're shaky on before they go up, especially those gymnasts who have been sitting out for a few minutes waiting for their event. Starting off, taking a look on beam. Beam, in my opinion, is one of the harder events. For those who don't know, a beam is 4 inches wide and can barely fit 1 foot at a time. So precision is key throughout the entire routine.
I'm still working on this. I think you guys are good. Jack.
For a one-touch warm-up, the entire team gets a certain amount of time to warm up anything they need, and it is up to the gymnasts how they want to split that time up amongst themselves. The time is determined by each girl gets a certain number of seconds. And so it's their choice whether or not they'd like to use all of it or give their teammates maybe a few extra seconds to warm anything they're iffy on. gorgeous 1.5 turn. And she starts with a round off full. Over on bars, we see a cut catch kip, which is not a super common thing to see on high bar. It fulfills a release requirement, and it's one of my favorite skills to watch. A beautiful layout flyaway. Round off, step out, front tuck, step out, round off, back layout for that second pass. Gymnasts tend to pick dance that caters well to their strengths, so a little show of flexibility there. Uprise back hip circle on high bar into a kip flyaway. Looking over on beam, gymnasts tend to pick dance from their floor routine to incorporate into their beam routine to carry them wherever they need to go to have the space to do whatever they need to do. Cat full there. A very difficult skill on beam since it's kind of a blind landing. Then a cartwheel swing through round off. It's very important that the foot of the gymnast does not touch the beam after the first cartwheel because then you will lose your connection bonus. Favorite things to see at competitions is that on a team, when one girl is going on the floor, you'll see all the other girls doing little bits and pieces of her dance. Beautiful round off 1.5 there, just truly such incredible height. Switch full into a wolf full. Interesting connection. Bars, we have an uprise, underswing, uprise. Again, gets you that little bit of connection bonus I was talking about earlier for beam. And then a kip, right into a flyaway. And a beautiful stick, very well controlled. A split full and a roll full. Judges like to see different shapes in jumps, so pairing a wolf and a split together is a good move. Round off handspring full for her final pass. Beautiful routine. A lot of really great power on that tumbling. Some gymnasts may decide to start on the quote-unquote opposite side of the bar because a change in direction is technically a necessity in bar routines to get full points and to have your routine scored out of 10. So most gymnasts opt for a switch kip or a handstand pirouette. Beautiful cut catch kip And right into that switch kip I just mentioned. Great connection there. A lot of really great height on that uprise, just makes it look like it's nothing. Straight into a clear hip, and then a kip, and lay it out, fly away. Super great control. Really straight form. Over on beam, we see a cartwheel, step in, back tuck, dismount. Pretty common dismount in high school gymnastics. Gorgeous turn there. Front handspring, front full on her first pass. Absolutely perfect form. Not something you see a ton in high school level, but really just gorgeous. Right into a switch loop full woeful. You also see that especially gymnasts with harder passes tend to kick easier dance. Gorgeous. Front handspring step out, run off back, layout, step out there. And run off handspring full on that final pass. A truly incredible bit of gymnastics is a gymnast's ability to do a tumbling pass like that at the end of such an exhausting routine where they don't stop moving for a second. On vault, we have a suit. Very, very difficult vault. Got to get a lot of power off your hands from the table to make it work. And she had a whole bunch of height. Over on beam, again, a cartwheel round-off connection. That also gets you a flight component as well as your connection bonus. Flight component just means that all of your hands and feet are off the beam at the same time. 3 jump connection there. A round off back tuck as a diff mount. Back over on floor, you see a round off 1.5 with just an insane amount of height. Takes a lot of really great air awareness to not only twist that much, but get that high and know exactly where you are. And a gorgeous split sweep connection. Front full cartwheel. All passes must have at least 2 skills to be considered a pass, sometimes 3 depending on the difficulty of the other skills in the pass. Up on bars, we have a kip cast into a free hip, just perfect amount of height on that cast. Another cut catch. Kip straight into the free hip. Kip to handstand. And then a layout flyaway. Very, very diverse routine. Not a combination you see a lot. Here we see Hunterdon Central coming off of their bye, and they will be heading over to vault first. First off for Hunterdon Central on vault, we have Olivia Glinka. She is a sophomore this year. Round off full off and great control. Every gymnast gets 2 vault attempts, which is truly a blessing if the first one does not go as planned, but that was an incredible performance from Liv. Another great vault. Each judge scores each vault, and then they pick the higher of those 2 scores, and that is what the gymnast receives. And in relation to team scoring, those 2 scores from the 2 separate judges are averaged together to get the gymnast's final vault score when it is calculated for the team. Next up is Isabella Uzon. She is a junior on Central this year. Half on, half off. Great height there. At the end of her vault, you may see her coaches standing on the mat.
So you may move to your second competition rotation and begin your 1 touch.
Standing on the mat to prevent it from sliding and disrupting a gymnast's landing. Great control, great height. And a beautiful vault from Isa. Next up on vault is Kyla Talty. She is a junior this year. for your Chanko half from Kyla. Judges will present or gymnasts will present or salute to judges to signify that they are starting their routine or skill and then ending their routine or skill. For every step taken upon landing on the vault mat before you salute to a judge is 0.2 off from your score. So it's very important that that little sign of respect is in there at the end. Two beautiful vaults from Kyla. Great form, great height, very controlled. This is a new vault for her this year, so it's great to see it working out. Next up is Jenna Willigan. She is a sophomore this year. Another Yurchenko half from Jenna. She spends just a split second on the vault table, so you really got to be precise on when your hands are landing. Great form, though. Coaches typically organize their lineup in order from least difficult skills to most difficult skills. Another great performance, just one small step, and otherwise, great form. Next up is Paige Brecht. She is a sophomore this year. Great half on, half off from Paige. Ball. And that concludes Central's vault lineup. Great performance, girls. Back over on floor, split full combination for jumps. don't see a lot of those at the high school level. And then a hip to handstand. Clear hip, just a little far over on that. In an instance where you fall on bars, you just gotta get back up and keep going. Straight into your giants, beautiful. And so much height on that layout flyaway. Gymnasts have 30 seconds upon falling on any event once they get up from that fall to get back on the event and keep going, although most gymnasts don't use that entire time. And I take time to mention on every live stream we do that nothing is quite as nerve-wracking as that few seconds right before your routine, while the judges are still making their last adjustments. Nice full turn on beam. Right into a wolf jump and tuck 3/4. Back walkover, back walkover. Gymnasts are required to have a backwards element in their beam routines. This could be in the form of a backward roll, back walkover, back handspring, back tuck, just depending on the routine. Every gymnast have a certain amount of requirements they need to fulfill, which is why you may see some repetition of skills in different gymnast routines. Bars. That was a great fight to stay on top of the bar. Right into some giants and a beautiful double back. Very controlled. On floor, round off full. You see at the high school level that most girls will do round off straight into their back flight element, as opposed to round off handspring into a back flight element, which you see a lot more in club gymnastics because the handspring in high school is not required. In high school, gymnasts are not allowed to have a coach on the mat spotting them, which is why you may see some gymnasts opt for extra mats, specifically on floor, for skills that they are less comfortable competing. On beam, we have a cartwheel roundoff, slight wobble in the connection there, but otherwise very clean. And a very clean full turn. On beam and floor specifically, you see it most often. Gymnasts can kind of get extra creativity points for having interesting dance or extra skills in their routine. Great front tuck on beam, not something you see very often. Super hard to generate the power for. Wolf straddle connection. Again, showing those two different forms in her jump. A back handspring, back tuck dismount, which is a very difficult dismount because you have to be absolutely precise as to where your feet land after back handspring, not only ensuring that they're landing on the beam, but that you're not too far away from the end of the beam. Floor is just genuinely such a fun event, and my favorite personally to watch and to have competed, because I think it's where a gymnast personality shines through the most. They get the most creative liberties with it. Round off 1.5 front tuck, a personal favorite pass of mine. So much power, so much control, and just beautifully executed. Every routine must have 3 passes, and at least one of those must be a backwards pass, and the other must be a forwards pass. Most girls opt for 2 backwards passes and 1 forwards, but it really just depends on the gymnast. Absolutely gorgeous front layout, full step out, round off back tuck. Again, an unusual pass to see at this level, but beautifully executed. Step out, round off, back pushing forward. Absolutely stunning. This gymnast just has phenomenal control over her passes. Really incredible air awareness, and it shows in the precision of her landings, especially with all the height that she's getting. Every routine is judged on a 10-point scale, which is why you will see people holding flashers with different numbers up. The closer to 10, the better the routine. Because high school gymnastics is a team sport, it is scored by the top 3 scores from each event of each gymnast. Although there are 5 gymnasts competing in the lineup, they take the top 3 of those scores and they add them all together from each event. So ideally, in a perfect world of perfect 10s, the most you can get is 120 as a school. Back handspring, 1.5 punch front with a beautiful stick. A 4-skill pass is not something you see a lot from gymnasts, especially considering how much limited room you have. It was very well done. Tuck 1.5, roll full. She's got a lot of great height on her jumps, and looks like she's just having an absolute blast, which just makes her routine so much better. Front handspring, front full. Great control. We see some warm-up handstands and giants. I believe this team is still doing 1 touches for this event. And finally, a round-off full. It is admirable how much energy she has even after this whole routine. But it is truly a testament to the level of endurance that gymnasts must have. Kip, cast a handstand over on bars, right into that free hip, and another kip. 2 monkey circles into a squat on.
Teams, we should be on our 3rd competition
Handstand
rotation.
into some
on me.
beautifully straight giants.
On floor.
And a layout flyaway. On bars, something that tends to happen in giants is you see an arch in the gymnast's back because their feet lag behind a bit, but those were perfectly straight. Something judges definitely look for on bars. Anything? That was a Yurchenko tuck on vault. That is the basis for the great majority of higher level gymnastics vaults in collegiate and Olympic. So they are not super common at this level, but super impressive to watch. Over on bars, we have a kip to handstand, cast into that free hip, and a switch kip. Little wobble on that squat on, but nothing she can't recover from. Straight into a very high uprise by kips and roll, and her 2 kips into a toe on dismount. Great control on that bar routine. A true gymnast makes bars look like nothing, like she's just floating, and I can assure you it is much, much more than that. Over on floor, we have some one-touches happening. On beam, we have a wolf 3/4. Beam is a truly incredible event because what I've seen, it's the one that people tend to fall the most on and truly just pays tribute to the strength in the minds of gymnasts that they can just get back up and keep on going. Really unique vault. Not something you see a lot, but judges like seeing variety in vaults and in any event for that matter. So the more difference in skills that gymnasts have, the better. Great recovery from that switch leap over on beam right into that tuck 3/4. And beautiful height on that straddle jump. On bars, we have a kip cast a handstand pirouette. And then cast handstand free hip right into another kip. And a monkey circle getting her up to her squat on. Usually in warm-ups, gymnasts who do monkey circles tend to do more than they need to, just for a little bit extra practice, and she gets her feet over on those giants. And a beautifully stuck layout. Over on vault, we have a Yurchenko back pike, step up from that tuck. Got a lot of great height there. Run up, back handspring, back tuck on that first pass. On floor, gymnasts tend to put their hardest passes first, so that way they give themselves a little bit of a break when they get to the end of their routine. High school and above level floor routines are so fun to watch, as opposed to some lower level club gymnastics routines, because gymnasts get to pick the music and change any choreography that they see fit. And they typically have it choreographed to cater to their strengths. Whereas in lower level club gymnastics, all gymnasts do the same routine. on bars, we have a kip, cast a handstand, and a beautiful pirouette. Right into another handstand free hip. Then a free hip into an uprise, underswing, uprise. Underswing, and then kip right into that dismount. A gymnast never starts touching the apparatus. Even on floor, they stand outside of the white lines and then move to their spot once the judge gives them the salute go ahead. You may see teams adjusting the bar settings in between routines as every team practices on a different set of bars, and different gymnasts need them different heights and different distances from each other to be able to execute a variety of skills. A lot of gymnasts include a beep at the beginning of the routine, specifically when their music is quieter, so they are truly given the go-ahead. It's kind of hard to hear in the gym when a routine really starts, so you'll be hearing that a lot over the course of this meet. Run up, back handspring, step out on that first pass. And then a tuck full for her jump connections. Front handspring step out, cartwheel. Very controlled combo. Those were cat jump 1.5s, which are harder than they look, should not be underestimated. Front handspring, step out, round off handspring. On beam, we see a sisson. Not a common beam skill. And then right into a full turn. There is a turn requirement on beam, as there is for floor. Split jump, pike jump. Great height on those. Right into that round off back tuck, which requires the same level of precision I was saying earlier with the back handspring. Really got to make sure your feet are in the right place and that you're far enough from the end of the beam, but not too far. You may see people coming in as Hunterdon Central comes off of their bye and gets ready for the next event. Hunterdon Central will be going to beam next. The nice thing about hosting a big meet like this is that we get to design the lineups, what teams we will be out on the floor at the same time as, and what order of events we would like to do. Beautiful 1.5 turn into a tuck full. A turn and jump combo is not one you see often. Right into a round off half forward roll, thus fulfilling that 3 skill requirement I mentioned earlier. Beautiful height on that switch, sweep straight into the tuck 1.5. front punch, front forward roll on floor. The requirements on floor are changed every few years when the panel gets together for a meeting. So it's great to be able to come back and see different stuff every time. On beam, we have a very high switch leap into a tuck 3/4. Again, the connection there is very important. A lot of gymnasts opt for a sideways landing on jumps where they turn for a bit more control. Gives them the opportunity to separate their feet a little bit, which makes the landing just that much easier. Beautiful split straddle. And right into that full turn. Again, since a turn is a requirement at all levels, it's typically underestimated by gymnasts. Beautiful front layout dismount because they've done it so many times, but it is something you see people falling on a lot if their mind is on other skills that are harder later in the routine. Since you are given no time really in a routine to think about your skills as you're doing them, especially for harder skills, you may have to sacrifice thinking about some of your easier skills just to focus on the bigger tasks at hand in a routine. Beautiful giants from Isa. Great control. Bars is one of her specialty events, and she just makes it look like it's nothing. Great form on those giants from Jenna. She's improved on those a lot. Same with Paige. They all have really great speed, which is important for getting enough power to get through your dismount. The flow in any routine, but especially bars, is very important, since every skill is one right after the other, to make sure that you are connecting everything. Any pause that you take will be a deduction. But because of that, it creates this really great fluidity in gymnast routines, which make bars just such a satisfying event to watch. Over on floor in her second pass, we have a front tuck, step out, round off, back tuck. Commitment is so important in gymnastics, to just commit to whatever skill you're doing, because it tends to be more dangerous for a gymnast if they bail halfway through. So even if you start off a little off, you really just got to keep going with it. Next up is Alexa Brunetti. She is a freshman this year. Kip cast into that free hip. And another kip cast, back hip circle. A little too far on her monkey circle, but it's nothing she can't come back from. Gymnasts tend to do better in their routines if they take a moment to stop after a fall, maybe talk to their coach. Like I said earlier, a lot of gymnasts don't typically use that full 30 seconds they're given. She has a great uprise connection. And then a kip right into a reverse flyaway. It's a very fun dismount. It's never quite something you expect. Next up on bars is Madeline Peach. She is also a freshman this year. Beautiful back handspring step out. Full twisting dismount on beam there. Fulls off beam are actually completely different skills than fulls on floor. The way you twist is entirely different. So it is truly a skill that you have to relearn everything you know about twisting. Gymnasts on bars typically have somebody standing behind them to pull the mat that they jump off of so it doesn't interfere with them at any other point in the bar routine. Starts off with a kip to a very high cast, right into that free hip and another kip. Very controlled squander and up to the high bar. Underswing, uprise. Another uprise. Right into a back hipsicle. Then a kip. Another kip. And a nice high flyaway. Uprise, uprise is a common high-level back-to-back connection, and the kip gets you your low-level back-to-back connection. Beautiful cartwheel step in, back tuck dismount there on beam.
Teams, we are moving to the halfway point of the meet. North Hunterdon, Voorhees, and Warren Hills are on beam. Somerville is on floor, Hillsborough is on vault, and Hunterdon Central is on bars.
Skyland is such an incredible meet since there's always something to watch, and a lot of the younger gymnasts from the club gyms are invited to help out with flashing the scores. Paige Brecht is a sophomore this year. Very strong bar routine up on high bar. She has a kip to handstand and two gorgeous giants and a stuck layout flyaway. Absolutely stunning. It's truly about finding a happy medium in everything in gymnastics, because it is definitely seen a lot where a gymnast doesn't have enough power, but it is also very, very possible to have too much, and in giants specifically, that is a very good happy medium to find, because not enough power and you tend to fall over the side, and too much then tends to mess with the timing of your dismount. Gymnastics is a very timing-based sport, which is why things like air awareness are so important. Next up for Central on bars is Jenna Willigan. She's a sophomore. The Central team this year is composed entirely of freshmen, sophomores, and juniors. And although there are no seniors on the team, there are some really incredible leaders throughout. And that sense of leadership shows in the confidence of the freshmen competing this year. Kip cast a handstand right into her free hip. A lot of power. Great kip to handstand. And just follows right through on those giants. And a beautiful stuck layout. Seems to be a pattern for Central today. Such a quick and efficient routine. Very clean. Sorry. Next up is Isabella Yuzon. She is a junior this year. Like I said earlier, Isa has very, very strong bar routines and truly makes it seem like it's nothing, that she's just floating on air. She's a great fluidity between her skills that I hope to see in a moment. Isa starts off with a kick to handstand pirouette. Gets herself right over the bar. And then a pike onto high bar. Gorgeous handstand, really on top of it. Into two perfectly straight giants. And again, keeping up the streak of a stuck layout flyaway. And with that concludes the Hunterdon Central lineup on bars. Truly great showing of control and power with our girls today. Central is now off on their bye. We'll pick back up with them on B. A true holy grail for gymnasts is their braces. You'll see almost every gymnast has grips on bars, and most of them use some kind of ankle or wrist braces on more power-based events. This routine is actually one that has been recycled through many gymnasts, which is something that schools and club gyms like to do, so they already have choreography down, and it is one of my favorites to watch. I've seen 3 gymnasts, I think, now have it at competition. And there is just so much always happening in this routine, so you really got to grab somebody with a lot of great endurance for it. Punch, front, forward, roll, cartwheel for her second pass. As you can see, all gymnasts up to this point have gone corner to corner for their tumbling passes because it gives them the greatest width of the floor to run with. Gymnasts get a 10th off of their score for every step that they take out of bounds. So if both feet go out of bounds, it is a 0.2 deduction. Over on bars, you see a full routine warm-up. Typically, gymnasts do either the first half of their routine or the second half of their routine for warm-up separately, and then go to a full routine, depending on how crunched they are for time. Great control on that handstand. Super great form. And a layoff full flyaway, which is very interesting to see. Everything in gymnastics counts, from your fingertips to your toes. So a single flex foot is a deduction. It's a very, very precise sport. And that's why the form on your lower level skills is so deeply drilled, because it sets you up for all other skills that you will do in the rest of your gymnastics career. Every skill builds on another skill that you've learned at some point. Split full tuck full on that first set of jumps. Great layout full. Again, as I was saying, back fulls on beam being completely different from back fulls on floor. Same goes for the way you twist in front tumbling skills is completely different than the way you twist in back tumbling skills. So a gymnast who is able to do both without getting disoriented is a very talented athlete. Phenomenal height on that front tuck, front tuck. In a front tuck, it is imperative that a gymnast has either the same height on her second front tuck or higher, so she does not get deducted. And this gymnast specifically includes an extra pass in her routine, which can get her bonus on some other skills she may be missing, to ensure that her starting value is a 10. Run up, back handspring, back full on that last pass.
Teams, we are moving to our next competition rotation. Ridge is on floor, Montgomery is on vault, Bridgewater Rare is on bars, and
when gymnasts are warming up, you will never see them go straight into their higher level skills. The reason why one touches are so important is because it allows them to do other skills that are a little bit simpler before they build up to the higher skills. This is beneficial both for form and for confidence. I always say that gymnastics is 20% physical and 80% mental. Of course, it takes such great strength and endurance and all of the above to be a gymnast. It truly is a sport that works your entire body. but the majority of gymnastics happens up in your head, whether it's a mental block on a skill that you've been doing your whole life, or it's getting up at the end of a fall and just going straight back into another routine.
And you said that, Callie. I mean, that's for almost every sport. Mentality is all about the game. 90%, 80%. Most crucial part about sports is the mentality, going over the physicality. I mean, like you said, getting up after a fall. We've seen a couple falls from Hunterdon Central today. Not many. They're doing a fantastic job, but they're getting up and they're shaking it off. That's all you can really do, and the mentality is definitely a big part in gymnastics.
And that's all you can do, truly. It's great in gymnastics to be a goldfish. You fall on something and you just got to forget about it and shake it off and keep on moving. And since when you're competing, it's an individual sport and you don't have your teammates actively at your event with you cheering you on, it's really just a sport about self-awareness. And, knowing if you're in the right headspace to compete even, which is why confidence plays such a huge part in gymnastics. A confident routine is a good routine. And it is crucial for gymnasts to be confident in their skills. On an event like beam, if you are shaking because you're nervous about a skill, it will only make it harder to do that skill. So that's why I believe sportsmanship is such an incredible asset in this sport specifically. Although it is an individual sport, it is very important to have a team that is there cheering you on. And that's part of the reason why I love Hunterdon Central Gymnastics so much, because they are nothing but supportive of their teammates and of other teams. Gymnastics is such a beautiful sport because you see girls cheering for teams that aren't even their own, just out of respect and just out of understanding of how nerve-wracking it is to compete. So even when a girl from a different team is competing, you'll see them getting cheered on by members of another team, which is not something I think you see in any other sport, and it really sets it apart from the rest. Very clean high bar routine. Seen a lot of great layout flyaways tonight. Front tuck, forward roll, step out, cartwheel there. Again, fulfilling the 3-scope requirement for a pass. Gymnasts do a lot of sprinting to train for their floor routines. As you can imagine, you can't just get straight back into a floor routine after an off season. So the way they work up to it typically is by doing sprints instead of their passes, or just doing general running workouts at the beginning of the season to train. Like I said earlier, gymnastics is a full body sport. And beyond that, instead of working every part of your body, it also works your endurance as well, which is why I think that being a gymnast translates so well to some other sports. We have had a few gymnasts on Central Gymnastics that have then gone into pole vaulting because some of the elements translate well as in high jump in track and field. Same goes for gymnasts who have gone into dance or cheerleading or other sports of that manner, and I believe they are typically very well equipped for any sport because they train for everything. Great toe drive on those giants, and that layout full dismount we saw earlier, which is a high-level skill and not something you see a lot in the high school competition space. ever wondered, judges have a specific shorthand when they are watching a routine because, of course, they are not able to write everything down in the span of time that they are given whilst also watching all other skills that they have. So it's almost like they have this judge language that they use that gymnasts are not able to read, just to not only describe all of the skills being done in all the different routines, but how well they were executed. Punch front forward roll cartwheel on that second pass there. Something you see frequently in the most interesting floor routines are levels. Gymnasts spend a lot of time going up and down for the sake of fluidity in their dance. Something that is very important in designing a floor routine is dynamic music, because it gives way for more interesting dance. That was a front handspring step out, round out, back tuck with a beautiful stick. Over on bars, we have a gymnast starting on the high bar, which means we have a great release skill there. That was a shoot over. And a kip cast a handstand. Free hip into another handstand, then straight into her giants. And a great double back, little mat malfunction there. Mats are tricky in gymnastics. Like I said about the coaches standing on them earlier, if a mat flies up on you or if it slides, it could disrupt your landing in a routine, which is very disappointing as a gymnast. Around beam, we have a dive cartwheel round off connection. A dive cartwheel also gets you that flight element that a round off or a back handspring would. Like I was saying earlier about the mental part of gymnastics, and I may have mentioned it briefly, beam specifically is a very tricky event because you never stop moving, but it takes a lot of thought for each skill of what you need to do to execute it well. So gymnasts, gorgeous front pike dismount with a great stick. Gymnasts have to be thinking about their next skill in every bit of their dance, which is why it's mostly evenly dispersed throughout their routine. It's just to give them a moment to breathe or some thinking time before some of their harder skills. Skylands is the biggest meet that Hunterdon Central hosts. After Skylands, you go to sectionals and then states. Before Skylands, the amount of meets that you went at prior dictates where you are on the bracket at sectionals and states. Round up back handspring, full twisting layout with some gorgeous power there. A lot of height. Nice double pirouette. Something that's also so beautiful to see at gymnastics meets, as I'm noticing out of the corner of my eye here, is that a lot of that sportsmanship between different teams comes from the fact that these girls, although they may go to different schools, do club gymnastics together. A lot of great height on that front. And because of that, you see a lot of great interactions between gymnasts from different teams catching up outside of their club gym and then cheering each other on. This gymnast decides to add an aerial as dance in her routine, which you don't see a lot because it is very easy to get deducted on and very difficult to execute perfectly. And since dance is not something you would like to get deducted on, it's not super common that you see that, but she executed that very well, had a lot of great height. Hunterdon Central, coming back from their bye, is now warming up beam. Another great asset in gymnastics that you see a lot is chalk, which is used most typically on bars. As you can see, the group of gymnasts from Hillsborough chalking up now, but can also be seen being used on beam, vault, and even occasion floor. Chalk prevents an excess of friction between the gymnast and the apparatus, which is a great thing to have for gymnasts who do a lot of turns and such on beam. Can I sit? That's what I was mentioning earlier about those full turns. Typically, gymnasts have a full turn to just get the easiest skill out of the way at the beginning of their team. But again, she just gets back up and keeps on going. Cartwheel swing through round off on that last one, fulfilling both her flight requirement and her connection requirement. A lot of beautiful height on that switch leap and that split 3/4. Pike jump into her wolf 3/4. Leaps are very difficult to generate power with on beam because you get 2 steps for it, which these gymnasts make it seem like it's all they need and they could do it in less, but it takes a lot of leg strength to get the amount of upperwards momentum that you need to execute a good switch leap on beam. I mentioned earlier that a beam is 4 inches wide, which barely fits a single foot of a gymnast, but it truly gives you a greater appreciation for skills like back handsprings, where not only do you need to land both your feet on the beam, but you have to land both your hands on the beam, and to do so you have to stagger them. And I don't know how often you do back handsprings on beam, but it is very hard to see where you are placing your hands. So it's a lot more muscle memory and consistency based. for Central on beam is Olivia Glinka, who is a sophomore. She starts off with a backwards roll on beam, which fulfills her back skill requirement. And right into that full turn. You see a lot of gymnasts overshoot their full turns a little bit. Straddle quarter. And then right into a split through quarter. Great control there. A great fight from Olivia on that one. But when landing a jump, not only do your feet have to be completely over the beam, but your shoulders also have to be in line with the beam. So that way your center of gravity is still entirely over the beam. But again, she just picks herself up and keeps on moving like nothing happened. Cat half gives her her lower level back-to-backs. Same with that wolf split connection. And good control on that front tuck off beam there. Great routine from Olivia.
One quick announcement, there are raffle tickets for sale. Prizes include Skyland merchandise and an air track. They're available out in the vestibule where snacks are being sold.
You should enter. You should enter for your air track. Great shoot over from this gymnast just now. And a pike down out of her giants, which is truly incredible to see that she's just able to contain all that energy and that momentum that she has. On beam for Central right now. We have a gorgeous back walkover, back handspring connection, fulfilling a connection bonus, a backward skill, and a flight skill. So really just a 3-in-1 package. And a split wolf. Another 3 jump connection. Slight offset there. Gymnasts, when they fall on a skill, can either choose to repeat that skill or just move on with their routine entirely. Typically, they will choose to repeat a skill if it is crucial for them to get a connection or a flight. When it's a skill like that, they tend to repeat it. But lower level skills or dance are almost never repeated. Clean dismount there. A one-touch on beam or an opportunity to do a few of your skills right before your routine is completely optional, but typically taken advantage of. Like I said before, the more confident a girl feels going into her routine, the better the routine. Great toe shoot there on bars. And an incredible display of strength as she pulls a kip out of very little momentum. 2 giants into a laid out flyway. Toe shoots are one of my personal favorite releases on bars when done well. They keep the fluidity of routine going very, very nicely. And I just think they're very visually interesting to see. Next up for Central on beam, we have Kyla Talty, who is a junior this year and has worked in some great upgrades to her beam routine this season. Very clean full turn. Kyla's been working very hard on her back tuck and has shown great consistency in it this season. Right off back handspring, back full twisting layout. Beautiful switch lead, really a full 180 there. This is Olivia French from North Hunterdon. And has such great control in that front handspring front layout. For her last pass, she has a round-off, back handspring, back tuck. Typically, gymnasts will add a 4th element to their tumbling pass if it is comprised of lower-level skills. But a overall very clean routine from Olivia. Really well executed. Next up from Central on beam is Isabella Uzon. She's a junior. Very clean full turn, starting off a routine. Switch leap tuck full, which is harder than most people realize to land forward facing out of that much twisting. You'll see a lot of the beautiful back tuck from Isa, great control. You'll see a lot of full turns at the beginning of the routine, not only because it's an easy skill to start with, but because it builds a gymnast's confidence doing a skill that they know they can execute well. Perfect stick on that cartwheel swing through round off. Then Isa's cat fulls, which she makes look effortless, but again, very difficult to land forward facing coming out of a twist on beam. And then her round off back tuck. Very clean routine, great performance from Isa. It is crucial not only to try to prevent falls from happening on beam, but also if you start to fall, to be able to correct yourself and bring yourself back to center. Falling happens to every gymnast many, many times throughout their career. So it is also very important to learn how to stop a fall and be able to readjust yourself. It is always better to wobble for a bit and readjust than to fall on a skill. Next up for Central on beam is Paige Beck. She is a sophomore. She has some really interesting tumbling in her routine. First off is that switch leap, which you see very infrequently because it is very difficult. Next is her straddle jump. And my personal favorite from Paige is this front walkover, step in, back handspring, which is just so incredibly controlled. You very rarely see a connection of a forwards and a backwards skill in a beam routine, which really sets Paige's routine apart. Great control on her wolf 3/4 there. And on her split 3/4, both are advanced high level jumps. And a round off back tuck dismount. Paige is always super fun to watch on beam because she is quick and efficient with all of her skills. Being quick and clean in a routine is very, very difficult, but she dedicates a lot of time to consistency, and it shows. To get full credit for a switch leap, your legs have to be perfectly straight and in line with one another, making a 180-degree angle, which is something that very few gymnasts achieve. Although you will still get credit for a switch leap if you don't execute it this way, you will be deducted on it. Over on bars, you can truly see in this warm-up how gymnasts are just able to generate power in a swing out of virtually nothing. Handstands on bars are a tricky one, as is anything else. because the goal is to be perfectly parallel to the bar. But sometimes going a little too far over means you will fall over the other side of the bar, which is much harder to recover from than falling too far to the left of the bar and not getting all the way up into that handstand. All gymnastics routines have a time limit of 1 minute and 30 seconds. Floor music is typically just measured till that time, but on beam and bars, gymnasts usually time themselves in practice to ensure that they are not going over in their routine. However, this means if a gymnast were to fall in, say, a floor routine that is exactly 1 minute and 30 seconds long, they cannot take any time to pause. They just have to keep going. Beautiful front handspring, full twisting front layout. Jump connection, including that switch leap. Very well executed. Absolutely stunning ground off 1.5. Probably one of the best we've seen today. Her body is straight, her legs are together, and her center in twisting is just perfect. With a controlled landing too. Finally, for her last pass, she does a front tuck, step out, right off back tuck, which is one of my personal favorite passes to do, as it is very well balanced on both ends. In addition to chalk, grips for bars direct the friction between the gymnast's hand and the bar more towards the top of your palms, which means that the center of your hands, which tend to be the softest part, aren't constantly being chipped away at. They give you a lot better grip and stability, and you will see almost, if not all, gymnasts who are competing today use them. Although I cannot speak for all gymnasts, I know personally when I would wait for an event, you kind of run through it in your mind and you think of everything that you have to do because you don't have enough time, like I mentioned, to think about each individual skill before they happen or as they are happening. So typically gymnasts tend to be very quiet and very focused right before they go on, thinking about what has to happen, has to happen in order to execute a routine well. Kick past the handstand, straight into that free hip handstand like I was saying. It's important that your feet don't go too far over the bar while still hitting that full handstand. Then right into a similar skill on high bar. And a kip into the tuck. A gymnast competing individually. A gymnast can still compete at the high school level even if her team does, or her school does not have a gymnastics team. She will compete by herself, and typically for warm-ups and such, she joins another team. Round up handspring full there. She will join another team and warm up with them. Again, highlighting the sportsmanship of all the girls in gymnastics who typically take a solo gymnast just under their wing on a team and cheer her on when she doesn't have a team cheering for her. Front handspring, front pike, front tuck. A beautiful 3-skill front pass. It is a lot more common to see 3-skill passes on backwards passes. So maintaining a consistent amount of power to get 3 skills out of a single pass is very difficult. Finally, round up back handspring, back tuck for her final pass with a great precision. And she ends with her cat folds, cat folds. That was an aerial back tuck off of the last girl who just went on beam for her dismount. And over on high bar, we see a cast a handstand and 2 giants into a layout flyaway. At every level, most girls will do 2 giants into their dismount because it generates just enough power to successfully land their dismount without tiring them out by doing too many. Even at the collegiate and professional level, you see a similar formatting in routines this way. On beam, you see a back handspring step out, back layout step out. Layout step out's got a lot more common once you get up to collegiate level. And it's just such a beautiful connection. A lot of great hit on that round off full. See, this happens on occasion in gymnast routines where their music will cut out and they just have to keep going without any musical cues. So her teammates are clapping for her, which helps her keep some rhythm. But it becomes very difficult because you don't know how much time you have, which is something your music typically takes care of for you. Instead, she's just going by memory of how long each thing should take. She's got a lot of great height on that front though. And the whole gym is joining along. It's truly such a hard thing because there's nothing she can do about it and it's not her fault. But she looks like she's doing just fine anyway. Beautiful stick on that round off full. And a gorgeous execution of a little technical difficulty. Nice shoot over on bars. After this team's rotation, Hunterdon Central will head over to floor, saving the best for last as this is their strongest event. Although gymnasts tend to have extra time on most of their routines, they are given a warning a little bit before their routine is going to end or their time limit is going to end, and then once their time limit ends, they're given another verbal cue. So even in the event that a gymnast does go over, she will be aware of it. Double handstand pirouette. Little fun bit of dance there. Great show of control. Round off full with great control on the landing. Mats are always tricky for gymnasts because it means that you have to be absolutely consistent in the amount of steps you take and how far you run on all of your passes going into a mat, because just an extra step and you're on the mat, and one step less and you're too far. Beautiful double pirouette there. Punch front forward roll cartwheel with gorgeous form. Just about nothing is more satisfying to me than a floor routine that really hits the beats of the music. So I always have an appreciation for choreographers who make a point to do that. Round out back handspring step out there. Very clean, very fun routine. When a gymnast seems to be enjoying her routine and enjoying her dance and enjoying herself while competing, it makes it so much more interesting and enjoyable for the people watching. Beautiful stick on that back handspring step out. Full twisting layout on beam. Such a hard dismount and so well executed. Is she okay? Is she okay? Great double tuck there. And then a nice wolf-full, wolf-full. Round off handspring full for her first pass. In my personal opinion, I think air awareness is honestly more difficult in jumps than it is in tumbling, which is why even easier jump shapes with more twists are typically less favored. Super interesting dance on this one. Front handspring step out, round off back tuck. and a whole lot of height on those cat leaps. Switch leap full and a tuck full there. And finally a run up back handspring tuck for her last pass. And great control on the landing. Very dynamic routine. Floor routines typically take the longest to score since they contain the most skills. Almost every gymnast music is cut to about a few seconds before a minute and 30 to give them a little extra buffer period, but also because having a longer routine is typically easier as it gives you more time to breathe and take a moment of quote-unquote rest, aka still dancing, before whatever your next jump or tumbling pass may be. Off 1.5 with impeccable height on that first pass. Super fast double pirouette. And for her second pass, a front tuck, front tuck. As I said earlier, gymnasts must have 3 passes and typically carry 2 back passes and 1 front pass. Gorgeous switch leaps there. They tend to put their front pass in the middle or just have alternating direction passes to make the routine more interesting. Finally, round up, back handspring, back tuck on floor, which is absolutely flawless. Hunterdon Central have their 1 touches now, or after this routine. And I'm very excited to see them today on floor. something you'll see from any gymnast competing is that they are never sitting before their routine. Keeping yourself warm and active before you go is crucial to having enough energy to get you through a routine. Based on the warm-up I saw for this routine, I'm very excited to see the rest of it. Beautiful double pirouette. And so much height on that front layout front pike. Just absolute control over everything. Good wolf-wolf connection there. And then a round-off back handspring. Double layout for his second pass. Has more than enough height for that. Just so incredible to see so much power. And a switch leap, full connection. Girls with more advanced tumbling may have shorter routines or less jumps because they fulfill all of their requirements in other categories. Just impeccable height on her round off back handspring, back tuck. Such an entertaining routine. It's incredible seeing higher level skills at high school competitions because it really allows you to appreciate the dedication and commitment and time put forth that these girls have put into their sport on top of balancing their academics and any other extracurriculars they may be involved in. I always say that not only does gymnastics translate very well to other sports, but I think it also just translates very well to other aspects of life and these girls' future careers. It is a great way to practice performing under pressure, to practice resetting yourself after a little slip-up, to practice supporting other people in the same field. Just all around, this sport so incredibly prepares these girls for aspects of their career, whether it be leadership or a strong mind, any of the above. There is no better place for them to be learning these skills. Up on floor for Central is Alexa. She is a freshman. A lot of great height on that pass. forward jump connection, which I don't think I've seen today. Switch leap, straddle, straddle, tuck. Front handspring, front tuck, forward roll on her second pass. We're following the 3 skill requirement. And a tuck double for her advanced high level jump. And then a run-off back handspring half in a tuck position, which is not something you see often. Super dynamic music, which allows for super dynamic dance. Very interesting and clean routine to watch. Great performance for her first Skylands. Next up on floor for Hunterdon Central, we have Paige Breck, who is a sophomore this year. This is Paige's second year on Central and second year competing varsity for a major meet like this. She competed multiple events last year in the States. Looks like we're experiencing some technical difficulties over here. Something that Central does for their floor routines that some other schools have adopted since is that our girls stand around the floor instead of in one clump, so that way their support can be heard at all points in a gymnast routine. Round off, half twisting layout with a forward roll after. As I said earlier, Paige always has incredible form in her routines. That was a switch leap straddle, tuck full straddle, and that tightness in her form extends to her dance. Great height on that front handspring front layout. Again, you see the whole team doing bits and pieces of the choreo in perfect sync. That was her split full, wolf full jump series. For her final pass, she does a round out back handspring back layout with great control. Ends off with her advanced high level wolf 1.5 jump and a Great routine from Paige. Next up on the floor for Central is Jenna Willigan, who is a sophomore this year. A lot of height on that wolf full tuck 1.5. Right into her first pass. A round off full. That is a new skill for Jenna this year. And she executed it very well. Right into a switch leap straddle, straddle, and tuck full with a great height on her straddles. Off into her second pass, we have a front handspring, front pike, forward roll. A judge raises her hand to indicate an out of bounds. But as I said earlier, it's a very small deduction. Great control on her 1.5 pirouette. Finally is her wolf 1.5. And then finishing off with a very strong round off back handspring back layout. Very clean routine from Jenna. Great to see some twisting elements making their way into her routine. Next up for Hunterdon Central is Isabella Uzon. She is a junior this year. She's been on Central Gymnastics since her freshman year and has made a lot of great progress since then. So I'm very excited to see this routine. Great control on her wolf full tuck 1.5. She really gets all the way around on her jumps, which is very important, as a lot of gymnasts kind of try to cheat their way around them. Round off 1.5 from Isa, a gorgeous twist. That's a new skill this year. Great split on her switch leap. And then again, all the way around on that wolf 1.5. She does not cheat her jumps. Incredible power on her front handspring front layout. Again, great control on that 1.5 turn. Walk 1.5, gives her a high level back-to-back series. And a very high round off full to finish. Despite slight technical difficulties, a beautiful routine from Isa. Very clean, very well executed. And I love to see those upgrades. Finally for Hunterdon Central is Ava Sutphin, who has been competing varsity on all events since her freshman year. Although she's taken more time to focus on her club season this year, I'm very excited to see her on floor at this meet. Got a lot of great power and a lot of great control. The best combo to have in this sport. Starting off strong with the round off 1.5 punch pike. Her legs are just glued together on all of her skills. And an absolute incredible height on that front handspring front layout. Fumble on that leap pass, but nothing she can't recover from. And again, a gymnast with higher level tumbling can use that to compensate for some of their jumps. Finally, for her last pass, she has a round off 1.5 with, again, incredible height.
That is the conclusion of the meet. Again, if you would like to purchase a raffle ticket for All right, girls, are we ready for some awards? All right, we're going to be starting on vault, out 6 places on each event, and then we will announce the final team scores. On vault, in 6th place with a 9.175 from North Hunterdon, Jana Kawas. In 5th place with a 9.2 from Hillsborough, Emily M. In 4th place with a 9.25 from Montgomery, Kennedy Dexter. In 3rd place with a 9.35 from Hillsborough, Madison Chiodo. In 2nd place with a 9.375 from Hillsborough, Ashley Womack. And your vault champion with a 9.6 from North Hunterdon, Truth Upon. Okay, ladies, present. Moving on to bars. In 6th place with an 8.625 from Hillsborough, Emily Minetti. In 5th place with an 8.65 from North Hunterdon, Jana Kawas. In 4th place with an 8.675 from Hillsborough, Ariana Diaz. In third place with an 8.7 from Hillsborough, Michelle Prigiogo. In second place with an 8.85 from Bridgewater Raritan, Allison Lardieri. And your bar champion with an 8.925 from North Hunterdon, Alexis Andove. Ladies present. Good job. Moving on to balance beam. There is a tie for sixth, both scoring a 9.075 from Hillsborough, Ashley Womack, and from Bridgewater Raritan, Olivia Petrozzoni. In fifth place with a 9.1 from Montgomery, Catherine Cudmore. In fourth place with a 9.15 from Ridge, Maya Tamaru. In third place with a 9.175 from Hillsborough, Addison Saradi. In second place with a 9.2 from Watchung Hills, Christina Richardson. And your beam champion with a 9.3 from North Hunterdon, Jana Kawas. Ladies present. Moving on to floor, there is a tie for sixth with a 9.35 from Hillsborough, Denia Zidiak. And from Bridgewater Raritan, Allison Lardieri. In fifth place with a 9.375 from Bridgewater Raritan, Olivia Petrozzoni. There is a tie for third place with a 9.4 from Hillsborough, Madison Chiodo, and from Somerville, Gabriella Scrivener. In second place with a 9.45 from North Hunterdon, Truth Aponte. And your floor champion with a 9.5 from Ridge High School, Maya Tamaru. Good job, ladies present. In the all-around, in sixth place with a 35.5 from North Hunterdon, Truth Aponte. In fifth place with a 35.7 from Watchung Hills, Christina Richardson. In fourth place with a 35.775 from North Hunterdon, Alexis Andove. In third place with a 35.825 from Ridge, Mia Tamaru. In second place with a 35.85 from Bridgewater Raritan, Allison Lardieri. And your 2024 Skyland Conference all-around champion with a 36.075 from North Hunterdon, Jana. Finally, on to the team totals. I will ask that the top three teams please come up to the podium. In 8th place, with an 89.65, is Somerville High School. In 7th place, with a 100.675, Montgomery High School. In 6th place, with a 103.1, Watchung Hills High School. In 5th place, with a 103.2, Hunterdon Central High School. In 4th place, with a 103.8, Ridge High School. In 3rd place, with a 106.775, Bridgewater Raritan. Bridgewater, come on up. In 2nd place, with a 108.275, North Hunterdon High School. And your 2024 Skyland Conference Team Champions with a 108.95, Hillsborough High School. Congratulations, ladies. Have a safe trip home. Great meet. Good luck the rest of the season.